Coach, thanks for being with us.
I'm glad to be here.
Before we get to Tennessee, I have to ask you, how intently were you watching that Auburn-Florida game last week?
Well, I had a chance to watch the second half. We did play an earlier game, but I usually do my coach's show afterwards, so it takes me a while to get home, but I was able to watch the great majority of the second half, and I sat and watched every bit of it.
I'm sure your team is excited about that opportunity now. The SEC East wide open. You guys obviously play Florida down the road and can kind of control things, but was your team excited to see Florida go down?
Well, I didn't even talk to them about it, and the reality is that, Florida didn't really hold the keys to our destiny as much as South Carolina did. South Carolina beat us.
Right.
South Carolina's got to lose twice for us to control our destiny. Even if Florida lost 4 more games and South Carolina won out, we cannot win the SEC. So the key for us, as far as controlling our destiny, is whether or not South Carolina can run the table or not.
So you may be watching South Carolina, Kentucky Thursday.
Absolutely.
Well, the SEC is wide open. It's so deep this year with Mississippi State better, Kentucky's in the top 10, Vanderbilt and Ole Miss better. There really are no easy outs anymore, are there?
There are not. I can promise you. We learned that last year. We lost 4 out of 5 in the Eastern Division.
Georgia football coach Mark Richt joins us on WWLAC. Coach, how are preparations for Tennessee going for you all this week?
Not bad. I mean, the weather's been kind of cool here. I heard it's going to be hot this weekend. I don't know if that'll help us on Saturday, but at least it's been a little bit cool, and I think the guys have appreciated the weather, and they've been running around pretty good.
I know you've had a couple of guys banged up. How are you all doing physically at this point in the season?
Not bad, considering where we're at. We got a guard that may not make it back in time, Scott Haverkamp. That's still debatable, but
okay.
Craig Lumpkin looks like he might be back where he can carry the ball a little bit, and Keelan Johnson, who was out early in this last ball game, I think will be fine. So, overall, our injury situation has been pretty good.
I've seen some reports. Marcus Washington may be unavailable.
Yeah, Washington, he'll be out.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think he'll make it back.
All right. I see Craig Lumpkin go down early for you, and I start to wonder where the rushing yardage will come from behind that inexperienced at the time offensive line. But Noshaw Marino, Thomas Brown have definitely stepped up for you all, and the offensive line has really progressed nicely, it appears.
They're getting better. I mean, the line's getting better. Our runners are running better than our blockers are blocking, I can tell you that. But they are improving, and considering they're just a few months out of high school, they're doing pretty darn good.
I would think that it would be important for you guys to establish the running game against Tennessee, which would obviously help you grind out some yardage, keep Eric Gaines off the field, and maybe open up that play-action passing attack.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of how we approach it every week.
Let's talk about the other side of the ball. I noticed that you said that you were impressed with Tennessee's offensive line, yet statistically these guys have been a little bit imbalanced. On film, do they look like they have the ability to blow people off the ball if they do choose to go in that direction?
Our coaches think they're the best line we faced to this point. They as a group, definitely. They very well coached, very well coordinated. They play hard. They try to finish blocks. I don't see any reason why they couldn't run the rock pretty good. But when you got a quarterback playing as good as Ainge, it's a lot easier to move it down the field by air.
Yeah, no question. And those guys protect well. I think they're the best in the nation in terms of giving up sacks, only 2 this year, so it's going to be tough to get back there, isn't it?
That's right.
Well, you've seen Tennessee quarterback Eric Gaines. You mentioned him through the years. He's come such a long way. What's the biggest difference in his game, in your opinion?
Well, against Georgia, he's won every time he started, so I don't really have much of a critique on the guy. But anybody who's played the game as much as he has, you just get better at what you do. You're smarter, you're quicker in your decisions, you're more accurate. You just got a comfort level that keeps you calm under pressure, and you've been there before, so you're not wondering if you're good enough. There's a lot of advantages of having a guy who's been playing as much as he has. From a consistency standpoint, you think David Cutcliffe has probably helped him? Oh yeah, everybody knows David's one of the best quarterback coaches that there is out there, and has been for quite some time. And he's been blessed with some talented guys, but there's a lot of talented guys out there that don't have the discipline to become great ones, and David's the guy who can get them to do that. Georgia football coach Mark Richt joins us on WWLAC. Coach, as an offensive-minded coach, quarterback guy, what do you look for when you're scouring the high school ranks for somebody that could fit well into your system? You got to have a guy who can throw the ball accurately. There's no doubt about that. I don't think you can start with his ability to run, but if he can throw the ball extremely well and move well, that's a great bonus. But he's also got to just be a good decision maker. He's got to be a man of integrity. You don't want a guy running your program that you just don't trust, you know.
Yeah.
And so, you know, he's got to be able to handle the pressure of the job, because it's not easy. It's a tough job to be in. You're never going to play perfect, and everybody's going to let you know about it.
You pleased with the development of Matthew Stafford?
Yeah, Matthew's come along, you know, real well, I think. I think one day when his line's grown up in front of him and he's maturing like he is, I think the best is yet to come. But right now, you know, last year we were dealing with a true freshman quarterback being him, and then now this year we're dealing with the very young line, which, you know, I don't care how veteran your quarterback is, it's tough to do everything you want to do when your line is still trying to figure it out. So, you know, considering what's going on, I think he's handling things pretty good.
You guys have had tremendous success playing in very hostile environments in this league. What's the key to that success for you?
Well, usually it's your quarterback play. I mean, if the guy can handle, you know, all the pressure of all the communication that has to be made when it's really loud, and if he can handle the pressure of things looking worse than they really are, because the crowd tends to accentuate every mistake you make, and you know, if he can handle those things, then you got a chance. And we've been blessed with Green and Shockley, and hopefully now Matthew is, you know, going right into that same mold.
Georgia coach Mark Richt joins us on WBLAC. Coach, one more thing. Were you in favor of kickoffs being moved back to the 30, and how has that rule change affected the game thus far, in your opinion?
Everybody's certainly got better field position. I don't think there's any doubt about that, and I think it's going to be on average more than just the 5 yards they moved it back. But because I think a lot more kicks are being returned now, a lot more people are squibbing it. I mean, we got a bunch of field position in 2 of our games where they didn't even kick it to our deep guy, and we were getting the ball in the 30, 35, 45. I mean, that makes it tough on defenses. And whether or not I was in favor of it, I would say no, I wasn't in favor of it, because it's pretty dangerous and volatile play. And when we were kicking from the 35, a lot of them just went out of the end zone, and I'm just fine sticking it on the 20 and starting the game.
No, I'm with you. One more thing. I know it's such a busy time for you, obviously, but do you get time for anything else? I mean, do you have hobbies this time of year?
No, just family.
You don't get to explore any other interests like baseball playoffs or anything like that?
Not really. It takes about every ounce of energy when you got, you know, 4 kids that are at all different ages and different events going on. You just scrambling like mad to try to make a couple of them.
I can't even deal with 2 working 5 to 8 every evening.
Yeah, no. Well, it's a challenge, but when you got a great wife like I do, you got a chance.
And there you go, Coach. Hey, thank you so much for your time. Good luck in Knoxville Saturday.
All right, we'll see you now.